Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to Look Back. This is a series where I take a look at reviews that I did last year this week, 5 years ago this week, 10 years ago this week, and 20 years ago this week. I tell you what I think about them now, if I think about them at all. Let's go back 20 years ago. I reviewed a game called China. China was a remake of Web of Power, and in fact it's essentially the same game, from Michael Schock. Kind of an area control game. I don't know that it's aged particularly well. China was just the same thing with a different map. It's fine, 6 out of 10. Strategm. This is like a tic-tac-toe sort of game with gems from Playerm Entertainment. Pretty decent, 6.5. The Game of Things. So I believe back then it was called Things in a Blank. And it was just sort of you would ask. It's basically one of those games you ask a question and everyone answers it, and then you'd guess who answered it. A little clunkier than it could be now. Maybe a remake would be good. I have not played anything modern with this one. A 6.5. Monkey Memory. This is an interesting game where you're trying to remember where stuff is, sort of in a circle. It's trickier than it sounds. A good kids game, 7 out of 10. And 20 years ago, I reviewed the second edition of Arkham Horror. It's a game that really changed how I thought about games. I don't think I had played one that involved before. Very interesting game. I like it a lot. It has its flaws for sure, but it still holds a spot in my heart. 8 out of 10. All right, 10 years ago, I reviewed a game called Game Election. Not really a game, it's sort of a game. It's a game to decide what game you're going to play by voting and stuff. Goodness gracious, just pick a game. But if you need it, it's there. 6 out of 10. Bring Out Your Dead. I think the name of this and the theme of this Upper Deck was really trying to push something, some sort of game. They really, they put so much advertising into this. It was a fine game about, collecting dead. 6 out of 10. Tinker Tailor. This is a set collection game. It's dropped a bit for me because of the art. The artwork is not that fantastic, but I like it. It's based on a Tinker Tailor Sailor Spy, I think is the phrase. And you're just collecting different people, and there's some other stuff going on. 6 out of 10. Mars Attacks, 10-minute takedown. A little flicking game that really has no business being as good as it is. I enjoy this one a lot, 7.5. Mogul. Now, I want to be careful here. I'm giving Mogul an 8, but the new version of Mogul that came out later gets an 8.5. They added just a few things to it. A very good if you like No Thanks, the bidding game, and you wish there was a little bit more to it, that's what Mogul is. Asking for Troubles. I like Asking for Troubles. This is a fun one. Very orange on the board, but putting out workers. A great worker placement game for people who don't play a lot of them. And I like the theme. There's a lot of cool things to it. 8.5. And Champions of Midgard. I originally gave this one an 8, but if you add its expansion, especially the Valhalla expansion, it's amazing. A 9 out of 10. 5 years ago, I reviewed a game called Above. This is from Don't Panic Games, where you're moving up circles, concentric circles. It's not great. 4 out of 10. Solar Quest. It's a very, very old game. I played this a ton as a kid. Monopoly in Space. In fact, they've remade it called Spaceopoly. Man, I want to love this game so much, but there's too many problems with it. 5 out of 10. The Deadly is a little card game where you get rid of cards. It's the 7 Deadly Sins. Ooh, forgettable. 6 out of 10. Harry Potter House Cup Competition. This game doesn't emphasize the characters enough. Yes, you're in a school competition and you're going back and forth. There's some interesting things there, but there's just not enough theme in it, I think. 6 out of 10. Cosmic Encounter Duel. You would think this would be very highly rated for me. But the part of the Cosmic Encounter that's amazing is the negotiation, and that's out in a duel. This is a very, very different game. Doesn't even get talked about much these days. It's okay. 6 out of 10. School of Sorcery. Speaking of Harry Potter, Steve Finn makes a game that is clearly a Harry Potter-esque game. Competing schools of wizardry. It's a terrible theme, which I think brings it down because it's a pretty solid 2-player game. 7 out of 10. Alma Mater. This has cool little books in it. Some of the nicest components. Another game about schools, but this one's more about knowledge and back in the Middle Ages type game. 7.5. Rise of Queensdale. If you remember 5 years ago, we were in the throes of the pandemic, and I played Rise of Queensdale to completion with my children. Getting a lot of legacy games in back then, and I enjoyed it a lot with them. It was fun, an 8 out of 10. I also played Aonzen Legacy, which was not as good. My problem with Aonzen Legacy is they take a lot of the base game and pull it out and then throw it back in as you go on. And Aonzen has cooled for me a bit, so this one's a 6. And then Pandemic Legacy Season 0, 10 out of 10, straight up. I mean, I don't know that I'll ever play it again because that experience was so good, but it was a great, I like the whole spies mixed with the pandemic theme. It was a lot of fun. So that was 5 years ago. Last year, I reviewed a game called Piggyback Brigade, which is a remake of an old game where these pigs move around for kids and they all stack on top of each other. Think like Camel Up, but for kids. 6 out of 10. Umbrella, a nice little game about, well, placing umbrellas. It's a very abstract strategy game. Great components. 7 out of 10. Mandalorian Adventures. We have the expansion for this that we just got. So I need to mess around with that a little bit more, but very enjoyable game. Strong theme. A little deterministic maybe for me to love it, but I still like it a lot. 7 out of 10. Nuntech Temple of Ice. A neat game where you're stacking these plastic pieces and where you stack them. A little abstract, but some drafting, stacking. It's a really cool game. Hasn't got enough love, I think. 8 out of 10. Wrath of Fire Mountain. This is a little game. I think Eric Lang and Phil Walker Harding think of Baby Blood Rage, and that's what it is, but it's really good. Another one I did not get a ton of love, but I like it. 8.5. And then one of my favorite games from last year, Invincible, the hero building game, mixing bag building with a theme I liked, Invincible, with cooperative. It just works so well, and you're upgrading the whole time and get these cool special powers. I like it a lot. 9 out of 10. Those are the reviews I did 1, 5, 10, and 20 years ago. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel, and this has been Look Back. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.